you guys. So, how do you make an impact in the world if you know you're not going to be the next Shakespeare, Einstein, or Stephen Hawking? After all, the world we live in seems rather incorrigible. How are you and I supposed to believe all of this idealistic inspiration about making a difference when life clearly seems to suggest otherwise? Well, I'm here to tell you that it is in fact easier than you think, but it comes at the risk of being slightly unpopular. Now, I know what you're thinking. Easy to change the world? Sounds like an alternative fact. But allow me to win you over. Let me take you back to a movie for a second, Dead Poets Society. Robin Williams plays an English teacher at a strict boarding school in Vermont, and one day in class he has each of his students stand on top of his desk to have them get used to the idea about thinking about the world from a different point of view. Just when you think you know something, you have to have the courage to be able to look at it from a different perspective. And then what does he do? He comes to the middle of the room and he's like, huddle up class, right? His class surrounds him and he's like, no matter what anyone tells you, words and ideas can change the world. The human race is filled with passion. To quote from Whitman, the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. The powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be? I always wanted to act that out. But what ideas change the world? Well, as it turns out, consistently, the ideas that we hold to be self-evident in our lives today were consistently ridiculed by the majority. Such people who broached these ideas were not afraid of being a contrarian. People like George Orwell, who said, if liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they don't want to hear. People like Karl Marx, who when asked to give his favorite epigram, said, de optimus disputandum, everything must be doubted. The key to a contrarian. People like Frederick Douglass, who foresaw that in this search for truth, the goal that the contrarian looks for, we would be faced with a seemingly formidable vendetta. He said those that could imagine truth and justice without a struggle are like those who imagine the sea without the image of a tempest. We must follow in the footsteps of these men. Someone who challenges tradition, someone who believes that the future does not have a plan, but it is a blank canvas, and all of us are endowed with a paintbrush. These are the everyday minds that are going to push mankind forward, who are going to flip the normalities of our generation upside down in order to discover what I believe is an unrealized potential to influence what we call life. And creating a dent in how we perceive life only comes from challenging the supposed consensus. Living your life as a microcosm of how you believe the world should be is the way each and every one of us can slowly begin to reinvent the parts of life that make absolutely no sense at all. As much as I would love to elaborate on how you can do this in your daily life, I only have time to tell you about two rather ambiguous notions that I have stumbled upon while practicing this contrarian philosophy. And they are that if the world was in complete black and white, we would all lead better lives, and that we, as members of the human race, exhibit the epitome of arrogance whenever we are sad to die. So, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you, the next time you find yourself falling in love with something that the others may believe to be an absurd idea, don't despair. You just may be onto something. Thank you.